by far one of the best fights I've ever seen on Dragon Ball Super. Hey guys, it's Antonia, and we're going to talk about Dragon Ball Super episode 79. So we have Majin Buu versus, Basil. So let's just break down the episode. So we're pretty much picking up right where we left off. Basil just kicking Buu around and all that other stuff. But it seems that like I thought so in my previous video that Boo's not really taking any damage from any of like the kicks or anything. He's actually just really just having fun. He's like, he even tells Basil like, "Oh, you're fun," but Basil replies, "Well, I'm not fun at all." So pretty much Boo sort of tries to goes on the offensive, but it's more like a playful offensive. He's not really taking the fight seriously. Like I said, to Boo right now, it's just a game. So we find out there's something weird about the other fighters from Universe 9 is that Goku and them can't sense their ki, so they can't judge how strong they are or whatnot. And Goku finds this very interesting, so of course Goku gets really excited that there's strong fighters, like this around. So yeah, I mean, kind of selfish to say like, oh, I can't wait to fight all these strong guys or whatnot, because it's interesting that you can't sense their ki. They're not gods by any means, but there's just something off about them. Maybe other people from other universes can't sense other people's ki, but then again, they could sense Zamasu's ki, so that kind of debunks that. So anyway, continue on with the battle. Goku tells Universe 9 like you should probably fight with more power because that's not enough. It's not enough for Boo to get serious. So Universe 9's Kaioshin, I think is pronounced Rel, tells, Basil to like just go all out. So Basil charges up and you could see like this red aura around him, but it goes around his legs. Kind of reminds me of Sanji's Diablo kicks from One Piece. So it's something sort of similar like that. I mean, I would say they're kind of similar because they don't use their hands; they just use their legs. So Basil does his attack called Shining Blaster, which he sends out a giant ki blast from his legs into the stadium, and the impact from that kind of like goes around like the whole audience room. So like even like Hercule, Mr. Satan ends up getting hurt because of the impact of the blast. So you can see that unlike in the fight between Universe 6 and Universe 7 where there's a barrier around the stadium, this one there's not. So if you're going to be watching the fight, you need to just be prepared for anything. But Mr. Satan ends up getting hurt, and Universe 9, of course, is still thinking that Universe 7 is so weak that, because Boo took that on. But Boo just wakes up with a hole in his belly, and we all know Majin Buu or Super Buu or Kid Buu. Like he's literally like not taking any damage because he's just healing constantly, like in Dragon Ball Z where he was doing that as well. So but he sees that Mr. Satan is getting hurt, and he's like, "No, Boo, I'm fine," even though he's really not, and he falls unconscious. Now, this could have been an act, or I mean, we know how weak Mr. Satan actually is, but he just tells Boo to like, promise me that you'll beat him, and then he just falls unconscious. So Boo gets pissed off Boo, beating his chest and everything, healing, steam coming out of the head, kind of like Kid Boo fashion when he first got mad when that guy shot B, the dog. And he just starts going in and wrecking Basil, like tossing him around the ring and all that other stuff, grabbing his. She slammed him into the ring, grabbed his leg, flung him around like how Hulk did to Loki, and then just threw him out of the ring. And Goku's like, "Oh, we won," and Zeno's like, "Oh, wait, why? Why is it over?" Because he's not satisfied. And Goku explains like, oh yeah, for our Tenkaichi Budokai tournaments, like if you get ringed out, the person who rings the person out wins, and they're like, Grand Peace was like, yeah, so that's your rules. This is an exhibition match. We're just gonna pretty much they're just making up the rules as they go at this point. So we don't know what the rules are. So Basil gets back into the stadium and he tells the Kaioshin to give him that thing, whatever this thing was. I'm gonna call it like it maybe like some kind of steroid or something. And he eats it, and he just gets huge, like legs, everything. He's just huge, and he's all primal and feral at this point too. Bloodshot eyes, and once again he goes in on Boo, kicking him around and all that stuff, like literally like beating him into the. He just beat him into the stadium. Uses another ability called Wolfang Pressure, where he just fires a bunch of ki blasts from his legs, and it wrecks the stadium. But you know, Boo gets back up, and he's like, "Oh, cool, you're strong." And then his eyes open, and he's like, "But I'm stronger." And he does his Majin Buu Kamehameha, which completely engulfs Basil in the orange yellow light, like so. But it turns out that he's still standing, and he's ready to go for more. And everybody's like, "Oh wow, he is strong." Like he took Buu's full power blast, and he's like still standing. But then Elder Kai goes like, "Nah, he's done." And then I guess whatever thing he ate, I guess that effect wore off, and he became unconscious. So then the next fight's gonna start. So Gohan volunteers. He finally takes off the glasses. Booze were rewarded with lots of sweets, of course, and he heals, Mr. Satan. And so the brothers, the Wolf brothers, or it's kind of funny that they're all named after flowers. I guess that whole universe is gonna be named after flowers or whatnot. But Bergamo tells Lavender like, so like Lavender asks like, so I won't lose, but can I kill him? He's like, "Oh, kill to your heart's content." It's like, oh, then he's like, he gets all feral, and it's like, yeah, I can win because if I can kill him, I can win. So I think he has some plans for our boy Gohan, which it's since this is an exhibition match, I don't think. Oh yeah, also I guess cheating is implemented right now because according to the Grand Prix, they're still trying to figure out the rules of the tournament. But it begs the question also is who's actually running the tournament because you can see when the Zenos are getting excited that the Grand Priest keeps looking at them with his slight smirk on his face. I guess he's trying to make sure they're satisfied or whatever. But even in regards to that primal pill or steroid that Basil took, even like their Kaioshin's like kind of scummy. I don't know. He's like kind of douchebag, like very rude. Even Kibito goes like, "So what a disrespectful Kaioshin." But even when Basil was beating Boo into the ground, thanks to that pill or fruit or whatever you want to call it, even their God of Destruction's like, "Isn't this a bit much?" And the Kaioshin just completely disregarded that. But next up we have our boy Gohan, who needs some redemption versus Lavender or Lavenda. Um, it turns out that I mean, if you read the spoilers, so Gohan's eyes get poisoned, but what makes it fight even harder is since we already know that we can't sense their ki, Gohan's gonna probably have to rely on mostly sounds or whatnot. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But I'm so excited for this coming arc. Like this entire fight was completely amazing. Probably one of the best fights in Dragon Ball Super thus far, and it's a really good redemption thing for Boo because we haven't seen much of him, but he pretty much bodied Basil. Let's be honest. Once Mr. Satan was hurt, it was pretty much a wrap. But guys, let me know what you guys, Oh, one last thing. So we finally get to see when Basil did another key blast at Boo after Boo got serious about Mr. Satan. He deflected the blast, but it went towards the Universe 11 people, and we see one of their fighters who is actually Topo. So just to debunk that, a lot of people thought that that was the guy that Goku was fighting in the beginning because they kept changing the outfit here and there. But now we finally figured out that it's actually the leader of the Pride Troopers, Topo, who caught the blast and just completely like disintegrated it into, he can disintegrate it into nothing. But we actually know, if you read the spoilers or his character biography, he's also one of the people who is looking at to be the next god of destruction. So we already know that he's very powerful in his own right. So the Pride Troopers, if if their leader's that strong, I mean that spells trouble for everybody else. So I mean it's pretty interesting. But we get this we only see his mustache, but he's like, that's really disrespectful to the gods when he crushed it. He's like, you gods have no respect. So maybe there's, since with the whole destroying the universe, maybe they'll get the sense of justice thing, kind of like Zamasu. But maybe we'll see. We haven't seen anything much from them yet. But with that, guys, that's a wrap on this recap of Dragon Ball Super. Let me know what you guys think about what's going to come up in the upcoming arc. What did you think of the fight? What do you think about the other fighters? And what do you think is going to happen between Gohan and Lavender? So, if you like what I have to say, be sure to give me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, subscribe if you want more videos. I'll try to do them more consistently. But with that, guys, we'll see you in the next episode of Dragon Ball Super. It's going to be a good one. I'm really hoping it's going to be a good one. And with that, Antonio is out, guys, and have a good night.